I'm in.
You're a good dude. You're a good dude. Bam, we're live.
If you'll have me.
A letter has been sent to affiliates worldwide. Dang, look at Tyler Watkins' hair. We going to a funeral?
Got get married.
Oh, you're getting married?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Really? Is that your wedding haircut?
Yeah.
That's as good as you can look, dude. You fucking look good.
Thanks.
You went from seriously, you went from like redneck to like a model. That's crazy. Maybe it's a blue shirt or something. That's weird.
The redneck model.
You went from like 4-wheel drive to Tesla.
That's good.
We got a email sent out to all the affiliates, of which Mr. Souza down below is the owner of CrossFit Livermore and the executive producer of the Sevan Podcast. And right as I was getting off the show a little, 30 minutes ago, I started hearing rumblings of this thing. It sounds like Dave Castro. Is now head of the CrossFit Games. Can we pull that up, or should I just read it?
I was trying to pull it up. Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Pull it up.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay. And I'm seeing some other links too. It looks like Clydesdale Media is also reporting on this. Okay, here we go. I'll read this to you guys out loud. Dear affiliates, I'm writing to let you know Justin Berg will be moving on from CrossFit. Dave Castro will step in to lead our sport team as we prepare to have an amazing 2023 CrossFit Games. We are fortunate to have a talented team, and they are working hard to deliver a world-class event. We are looking forward to seeing many of you in Madison soon. Best, Austin. I'm guessing that's Austin Malleolo. So
that's Austin Cavoy.
Positive first.
Okay.
Let's start with the question for Mr. Souza. The most important people to notify would be
The affiliates.
the affiliates. So we're cool with that, right?
Yeah, that's actually awesome that they did that as quick as they did. And this email came like moments before simultaneously when Morning Chocolate did it too.
Okay. So, are you suggesting that Morning Chocolate had inside scoop on this?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was like email them or it might even been blurry a little bit as to who got it first. But
God, I hate them.
yeah, but at least they did send it as an email to the affiliates at the
How
same
much do they pay for that exclusive?
None.
Just their
None.
souls.
No.
Yeah,
their
exactly.
integrity.
Souls.
Just their
Souls.
integrity.
Their souls. Those are expensive.
Hey, so I'm going to put that in the huge pro column. Fantastic that they announced to the affiliates first. Like, just fucking awesome. Like, that's who needs to know. As the great Eric Rosa said, our shareholders. Like, those are the only fucking shareholders, right? Or is that what the word he used? What are they called?
That was right.
Stakeholders.
Yeah.
And so the affiliates deserve to know first. The letter is a little. We have questions, right?
Yes.
Is he now the Dave Castro that I know doesn't do anything half-ass? So I'm guessing, is he now in the role that he was originally in? And if he is, I know Justin Berg was critical to the success of the CrossFit Games when Dave was in that leadership position. And my first question is, well, who's going to be the new Justin Berg then? Right?
I heard it's John Young.
True. John Young, welcome to the show.
That is not true.
From the bottom of your heart, what is your first thought, John? Emotional, intellectual, when you hear that Dave's back in charge?
I'm happy for Dave. I'm more happy Justin's out rather than Dave is in. Personally,
And why is that?
Happy about Justin being out for?
Yeah.
What?
What are you happy about Justin being out for?
What has he done that's been good?
I don't know. What has he done that's been bad?
Well, the weights were wrong in 23.1. Yeah.
I just don't
Sorry,
like the way
John.
he answers questions. No. You're cool. You're cool. I don't like the way he doesn't answer anything. First off,
Thank you.
Dave, whether Dave does bad or does good, Dave will answer you honestly with what he's thinking, whether you agree with him or not.
Yep.
And this was the reason we did this. If you don't like it, you can back it up and leave it. Justin, we get no information from Justin, no matter what question is asked in what format. We get no information. I don't even know what
That's
he
a great
does.
point. Justin is just a lot. There was a lot of spin. It was hard to be like, so why did you pick Orlando? Isn't it a beautiful day today? First, I want to make sure I thank everyone for showing up. And you're like, wow.
Exactly.
This
Wow.
community is beautiful. I just want
Yeah.
to say we have the best community.
I am curious how this affects the games, though. Like, does he and Boz partner up as far as making the games events go, or is it you know what I mean? I'm just curious how much of a hand Castro will have in the programming.
I want to give you my. Go ahead if someone wants to answer that. Do you want to take that, Hiller?
I with what you said, the first thing that came to mind is when they had those little press conferences where Justin Berg and Boz would be sitting there. Everyone would go, "Thank you for allowing me to ask a question. It just means so much that you let me sit in on this thing and ask you." It just never accomplishes anything. And it's like, get to the fucking point and tell us what you're here for to ask a question to. And that's how Justin would have. It's so nice to be in Orlando. That's the first thing that I thought of. And I'm hoping that era of CrossFit is done. The pleasantries.
So because good or bad, we respect Dave just for his honesty, right? That's at the end of the day, we respected him.
Correct.
Like him or hate him, everyone respected him. Okay. And I agree with that. And we know why, because he was forthright and honest.
He's also a man of responsibility. Like the thing, he would live and die on his own sword. And we didn't see that same thing from you or from Berg.
Wait a
Can you
minute.
give me an example of
That's
that?
next, by the way.
What'd you say, Hiller?
What Tyler was alluding to. Or not alluding to, but mistakenly saying Eubanks.
It's a Freudian slip.
What do you have any examples of that off the top of your head, Tyler, that he's a man of responsibility?
It's just like, I mean, I keep my brain. We already talked about this, the lane 8 situation. Why was Justin Berg talking about that? Why was it handled the way it was handled? It should have just been squelched from the top and done. And it wasn't handled well. Or the fact that the lake situation, right? Justin Berg kind of muddled that whole situation. Oh, there might have been something in there. He never just came out and said, no, there was no poison or whatever in the lake. It's just like he just lets things muddle too much. Like, come out, talk, and go back to work.
Yeah, they
And then,
swam in the lake. It was full of shit. End of story. Or there is a discrepancy with the runners. That's what happens. Make sure you show up as the best guy. Like, that's something Dave would have said.
This entire
And then we could
season,
have, and then we could have judged it based on that. Hey, it's unfair. Then we could have cried or not cried.
There's this whole season have been debacles, and they have not owned it. And he never came out and said, we messed up on this. It was just like, oh, let's kind of sweep it under the rug. It was always rug sweeping. It was never like, yeah, we screwed up. Sorry, my bad. We're going to handle this.
This is what I see from the little perch that I sit on. The CrossFit Games operations, the CrossFit Games programming, and the CrossFit media have not had an alpha in many a year. And regardless whether you like the commander in chief, you like the alpha, if you don't have an alpha, all the other dogs will fight, and they'll spend their times fighting. And for anyone who's had 3, 4, 5, 6 dogs, that's exactly what it's like. One of them has to be the king shit. One of them does eat first every time they figure that shit out. And I think what someone had realized is that, oh shit, instead of everyone doing their job, there's people there competing who have no business being in charge, have no business being alpha, don't have what some people call leadership. But I actually do just think it's just straight up Dave's a fucking alpha. And when he was there, there was always a little bit of, I don't know how you want to word it, fear, or you want to please daddy. Or like for me, it was more on the side of I wanted to please daddy. Like you knew he was in charge and you wanted to please him. You like that, Hiller? Please daddy.
I knew it.
And so if you don't have someone in charge who's like that, that you're willing to work for, that you're excited to work for, then it's just going to become a competition of who's the biggest asshole. Becomes just the whole job becomes political and drama, and that's what they had fallen into. Just a complete fucking disarray. And can we assume that Don made this decision? This is a Don Faul decision.
Can we send him a link? We'll ask.
And why fire?
I don't think you can be CEO and this not be your decision.
Yeah.
Okay. And why fire Justin? Why fire?
Wait a minute. Hey! You said fire. The thing says he's leaving.
Yeah, he moved on.
Okay.
He's moved on.
And we don't know that
Okay.
either.
It's a new chapter.
And it says from CrossFit, so he's not even doing
He's leaving
any kind
via
of CrossFit
someone else's
anymore.
choice.
Okay, so what you do?
Possibility.
What you're suggesting also is they said to him, "Hey, Justin, we're going to give you a demotion," and he said, "Eat a dick," and they said, "Okay, here's your severance." Bye.
I know
He
by
didn't want to
Justin
take a
saying it
lesser
like that,
role.
but yeah.
Okay.
I also think you had to get rid of him because if you were going to ladder Dave back into his position at the top, there's no way. I mean, you just said it. They're going to be jockeying for position. It's going to become extremely political. Alliances will be taken and they won't accomplish anything. So I think the only path to really do that is rip the Band-Aid off and have it be done and now just put Dave in place.
Justin V, does this make Castro Adrian's boss? I would say I assume yes.
I think
It's
Sevan
like
said
good old days.
it's his daddy.
It's his dad.
Ryan Tate, Andrew Tate's stepbrother, a $5 to help fund Sevan's campaign trail, make media Sevan again. Well, thank you. That's very interesting. What is this? Coffee pods and wads, Pedro, the biggest thing in Europe that CrossFit has, holding down media on all other continents besides the important one, North America. Pedro says he's right. I'm tired of debacles. I want
Debacle season.
that must be a European word.
That's fantastic.
Joel Kelly, Dave is fucking alpha. Yeah, there's no doubt, and he does it without talking. So, Sevan, would you go back to CrossFit if asked? Absolutely.
I was waiting for a not to follow that. Absolutely. And then it never came.
Sevan, are you going back as media director now? No, not even when. No, I don't think he has that. I don't think he has that authority. Sevan, are you excited for the games now? What I really want to do is I want to talk to Dave. I've been bugging him and I can't get a hold of him this morning for obvious reasons.
We got a couple ideas.
I do have a few ideas. And Sevan, are you excited for the games now? Yeah, I'm crazy excited. I'm crazy excited. Does anyone think this is going to affect the programming? Or we're going to keep going down the Adrian Bosman pathway?
I would like to think that Dave lets Adrian go and make his mistakes on his own and learn from it, but we'll see.
I'd be curious to find out how much they were talking ahead of time before this, Dave and Boz, and if there was any continuity between like logistics that need to be handled, maybe some holes that Dave might have seen that wasn't originally brought up in the programming. So that way there's just more like cohesion as far as like logistically how it rolls out, how they're going to handle scoring issues and the inevitable problems that are going to happen across each event. Because if you look at it, I didn't see like there was obviously a change in the programming, but it seemed like their biggest struggle was like logistics, getting their shit together, making the rules, holding a standard. And so I think that Boz will actually excel in that environment when you have somebody like Dave, who's like, here's what we're doing. This is the course we're taking, and we're not going to budge from this.
Andrew Hiller plugging the Dave Castro extra virgin olive oil, which will be available online
This is the
soon.
first sold bottle. It's a limited edition.
Question.
Sponsor of the show, official.
That is the first sold bottle, by the way. That is true. That is the very first. Andrew Hiller did buy the very first bottle of Dave's new olive oil brand.
Can't have it. It's not for sale. It's gonna sit right there, like your Ariel Lowen card.
eBay. Go ahead, Tyler.
What do we think Justin is responsible for? Because we can pontificate all day on what Dave is going to do, but if he's replacing Justin, what were Justin's responsibilities, and then what did he end up doing that we didn't like?
I think his overall response. I think that was the problem. I think we didn't know whether Adrian or Justin was responsible. But in an ideal world, Justin would have been the new Dave and completely in charge of the operation, and the people who would have reported to him for the operation would have been media and programming, and they weren't reporting to him. And so I think his job had fallen more into the fact of sponsorship, right?
The fact that we don't know exactly what he was doing proves that he was not a good in charge of the sport, director of sport.
In his defense, he was set up to fail. I don't think that those people were put into I don't think Adrian was said, hey, you report to fucking Justin. I think it's like, hey, this is going to be a collaboration. I can't wait to. Dave is not like that type of guy. He's not hey, I'm the collaboration guy. He takes a shitload of advice. He has lots of meetings where you sit down and anyone can express their opinion. But at the end of the day, it's the buck's going to stop with Dave, and the decisions are going to be made by Dave.
Didn't
So-
so,
You think Rich gets kicked out of the semifinals if Dave is the
No,
director?
no.
It's like stuff like that.
Hey, or if he does, Dave gets on and he's like, yeah, I kicked that pretentious bitch out. Or he says one or the other. I don't think he gets kicked out, but if he does, Dave speaks to it. Yeah, I kicked him out. Who the fuck does he think he is? He's last week's news. And we all go, oh, like.
Yeah, well, at least that was the best part about Dave. It's like whether you liked it or not, he was going to stand in front of the firing squad and give his answer, and then he was going to hold to it and move on. It wasn't so ambiguous. Like his answers weren't ambiguous and stuff. You were like, he made the decision and he's sticking by the consequence, good or bad.
As painful it is for me to say, the best interview ever done with Don Faul was with Pedro, Coffee Pods and Wads. I can't stand how he lets people talk so much, but he does, and he got a great interview by letting Don talk. And he says, listen to this. This is from Pedro in the chat. He says, when Don was on Coffee Pods and Wads podcast, it was clear he felt people were hiding things from him. This is the result of that, surely. Yeah. They, like I said, well, that's good to hear. That is in line with, they have a massive communication breakdown there. Massive. They have crazy inside fighting there. Crazy. And that won't happen with Dave there. Everyone, the masses
statement?
will huddle and be like, it's us against Dave in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Has Don made a statement about it yet?
true.
If he has, it's on that shit rag morning chalk up or maybe Clydesdale. I see Clydesdale posted something that says morning chalk up reports. Oh, and they're reporting off of morning chalk up.
Yuck.
Yeah. Hammer.
Yeah, they went downhill really hard, like really quick. Like they were kind of treading water and then they drowned.
Who morning chalk up?
Yeah, like last week they just completely murdered themselves.
Yeah,
2
it
weeks
seemed like
ago.
a good idea until you go missing underwater next to the Titanic.
They felt safe expressing their wokeness again. That's the problem.
God.
Wad Zombie, who makes the best cards in the business, the only cards. After Pedro's interview with Don, I think it was clear that there were a lot of issues Don wasn't aware of. Pedro may have gotten Justin fired. No shit. You think it's like that? You think that Pedro asked him some questions that possibly caught Don Faul off? What questions are those?
Feed us, Wad Zombie.
Wow.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So you think that Pedro asked him a question in that podcast and then Don kind of flinched and was like floundering, thus exposing he didn't know that something was going on? It's interesting. I mean, how much should the CEO know about the games? Like, should he have known that events 1 and 3 weren't being televised?
I think he should be putting the correct leader in place and he should forget about it. Like put somebody like Dave in charge and say, here's your baby, do what you need to do. We'll meet about it, whatever, in a quarterly or something like that, just to keep my thumb to the pulse. But other than that, he needs to put a strong leader in and then forget about it. Needs to move on and focus on training the affiliates.
He shouldn't have to know, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And game stuff problems should not come to his attention. It should just be sorted out by Dave and then find out later about it. It shouldn't find out about it. It should be fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee Pods and Wads, Pedro chiming in again, carrying the show. Pedro, you should have just come on. After the recording, Don hinted that he had no clue about Eubanks on the Talking Elite Fitness podcast and how bad he came across or how pissed people were about that side of things. Yeah, how can he know that? I one time text Don and apologized for something I said on my podcast, and he said, in a very gentle way, he said, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So, I mean, he doesn't have time for us. He's not in the dirt with us pundits. Say that again, Hiller?
He watches all my videos, so he must have missed the one where I just shoot out Eubanks.
He does watch all your stuff?
Yeah. Don?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see that in writing.
I'll send you a screenshot of that.
He asked me about Eubanks' interview on Talking Elite Fitness where Eubanks sounded like a clown. Don said he wasn't aware of it. Okay.
Frankly is the word that Eubanks uses. Frankly.
And by the way, even if Don was aware of it or wasn't aware of it, that's going to be the statement he makes because he's not going to try to back himself into a corner. Don's really good, like media trained. So if you ask him something, whether he has an opinion on it or whether he doesn't, if he feels like it's a setup or it's going to pigeonhole him into some sort of opinion about something, he'll just stay clear of it.
Now, guys, I want you to listen to this very clearly, what I'm about to read.
Listening.
Listen very clearly. This is not a statement that this person wrote lightly. This is 100% Berkshire decision. You have to know this, though, Tyler. The board knows Dave.
They might.
The board knows Dave. This is 100% Berkshire decision. If the games don't work, they don't get their money back. Dave seems like the only one who can fix the games. There are two people. There's at least two people on the board who are intimate with Dave, I think. And there may be some real truth to that. Why are you shaking your head, Tyler? You think at the end of they wouldn't do that? The board wouldn't circumcise Don Faul? I don't think that's the right word. I don't think that's the right word.
Yeah, that's the right word. Well, that one's it. I would say I would hope not. And if the board is that involved, that's worrisome as well.
Well, don't you think that they're in that situation? That they're in a.
Why would they not be involved?
I mean, they're always going to keep tabs, but I'm going to let the CEO do his job. You know, and if the board is reaching that far down into the system, that's a problem. That means we're in a lot hotter water than we thought we were.
Right, meaning that they're right.
Like they're running out of money, and they're like, "Fuck, we have to have we need to come in almost on like day-to-day operation status just to make sure that this thing doesn't sink completely."
I don't think we're that far. I don't think we're that far down.
So you think it's out of desperation?
No, I think that Don's pulling the trigger, and he's like, "No, you're out. You're done." I don't think this is the board's decision. I think this is Don.
I want to say one more thing too, because some people are going to be like, "This is moving backward." This is not moving backward, by the way. This is moving backward, like you were you had a cocaine habit and then you quit and you moved back to like not doing cocaine. If you think that's moving backwards, then this is moving backwards. Having a guy who fucking started the games, ran it to fucking incredible success from a fucking podunk sport in the backyard to a fucking international event, former SEAL Team 6 operative, crazy passionate, crazy alpha, extremely articulate, and also very able to be very quiet. Who also ran the training team, who does run the training team. I guess that's a whole subject we should talk about. How the fuck is that going to work? How is he going to run both? I mean, he used to, but he had Nicole Carroll as a co-runner, co-lead. This is not, in my opinion, there's no step backwards here. This is like,
this is the first.
We put diesel in we put gas in the diesel tank, and this is now putting diesel back in it. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
I felt like we were on this.
Oh, it's a bad analogy. You can't use that engine anymore.
Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck.
No, the thing that I was thinking was that we had been at sea with no wind for a year, and then all of a sudden, like hurricane winds are blowing. Like that's what it felt like to me.
You guys and your analogies, I get it, but
here, you think it's a step backwards to put Dave back in, Mr. Hiller?
No. I'm just hating on the analogies.
Okay, fine.
But they're good. They're good. I like
Tammy. This is interesting here. I think we're cutting Adrian too much slack. Decisions like the sled and semifinals had to be his. That may be true, but those are also the things that Dave would have been like, okay, let's test this 50 times. And then Dave would have come on afterwards and been like, hey, those were a complete fuck up, or hey, suck it up.
See, that was my point with the lane 8 situation, is that I think what's going on is that Berg and Bosman their lines had been crossed. It wasn't clearly Bosman, this is my playpen and that's your playpen. It was crossing over, and then it was no one's responsibility, and then things got out of control. And I think we're having clearly defined lines. What you were saying before, Sevan, well-defined roles. And I don't think that they were well-defined before.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Pia, follow the money. I think that's what the previous comment was saying. Greg C, just getting started. Sevan, you've got to be in Madison now. I can't wait till you're contracted. Which makes me remember if Jake Gazan is listening, I got your text. And I'm excited to work with you at the games, especially if I'm going to go to the games. Circumvent.
No, you're going to the game, Sevan?
Boy, I will ask.
He stroked out.
Dude, for just the sake of kind of like the double middle finger in the air, I would love to do the behind the scenes again. I would love the opportunity to go back there and do the behind the scenes. I would love the opportunity to love on the athletes with all my fucking heart. I would love to take go do there with all you guys. Take the fucking whole team there and fucking Hiller, me, Souza, whoever wants to go and just cover the shit out of it and love on the athletes. Just do a crazy behind the scenes and some bunch of real time live shit too. It would be great.
Yeah, and it's not like we're asking the chat to overflood them with DMs or tagging us or anything like that, because that might be crazy. But if you're a little vocal about stuff, maybe it might help a little bit. But also be very nice. I would never deploy them like that though.
But I would. Whatever it takes.
Kevin M, it's a good one. I like it. The playbook to fix the games and create a massive spectacle there. See Hard Knocks F1 Drive to Survive or PGA full swing. Yeah, the most viewed minutes wise was the behind the scenes. I mean, the eyeballs on that, and it was great. Cornholio, let's clean house with this momentum. Bob has crapped the bed and needs to go along with Eubanks. There's a new sheriff. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Honestly, I bet you Adrian's relieved that Dave is back. He might not like it at first, but I bet you there's a sense of relief from everyone except for people who
I love it for
some people who aren't relieved.
Dave will force him to be better.
Yeah, and Boz got a lot of support from Dave in the past. I don't know where Boz was getting that support anymore.
Well, going back to what we were talking about earlier, if there's no defined roles in leadership, as a person like Boz, that's probably very frustrating to work inside that environment. Because even if you have a boss that you like, maybe they're not going to agree on everything, and you kind of have to like walk them through different stuff. At least you know where they stand, and then you also know how to deploy your message and where you stand with them.
That was an intense comment.
With this one?
No, the one Bernie Gannon.
Oh, was it up?
CrossFit Bible.
It was biblical statement.
I missed it. Hold on, let's go back. Let me read this, and then we'll go back to it. Gunnar Wolf, great name. What are Don's current priorities for growing CrossFit? When will Don fix the media team? It seems like marketing, community, and games should be priorities for CrossFit.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Hey, one step at a time. All right, it's coming. It's coming.
Jessica Valenzuela, please do. Would love to meet you and can stand next to a 6-foot woman.
Whenever they sign Sevan as the head of the media team, I can't wait for that exclusive podcast.
This is it.
Guys, 3 minutes. I'm about to have a new job. It's over. It's over.
With Dave's second coming, he will reset his kingdom, judge his enemies, and reward the faithful, living and dead. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited. I kind of can't believe this is true. Are some of you guys having trouble believing this?
A little bit.
It's like Christmas came early.
Do you think that there's anything we're misunderstanding? Maybe let me read this again. Let me read it one more time. Can we pull it up one more time?
What'd you say, Hiller?
What if Berg comes back? I said he's leaving, but maybe what if it's like a little break?
What if Boz gets fired and now Justin's in charge of programming for the games?
What the hell would be? Oh wow!
He's just you would talk about anarchy.
Kenneth DeLapp, Sevan would totally abandon us to work for HQ again. I will never give up this podcast. Never, unless like one of my kids got rich and took care of me. There's no fucking way I'm giving up this podcast. I have too much fun. I wake up every morning to just hang with you guys. Dear affiliates, I'm writing to let you know Justin Berg will be moving on from CrossFit. What does that mean, John Young?
He's going to take up skiing.
Okay, so that means he's not going to collect a paycheck from CrossFit HQ anymore, right? Is that?
Yeah, he's done with CrossFit. Yeah.
Can he go to the affiliate department? Is he going to the affiliate department, Souza?
No, he's definitely not going to the affiliate department.
The way that's worded, does it not sound like you're not allowed to do CrossFit anymore?
Yeah, like
he's a bodybuilder.
CrossFitter.
Yeah, like he's got to change sports.
Yes, sir. He's a bodybuilder.
250K a year and a job with HQ and Sevan is done here. Not true. That is not true. 500 and now we're in the ballpark. Dave Castro will step in to lead our sport team. Is that what I used to call the CrossFit Games? What is that sport team? What is that?
Games team.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dave Castro will step in to lead our CrossFit Games team. Are you guys okay with me doing that? Making that edit?
Thank goodness. Makes me feel better.
As we prepare to have an amazing 2023. We're not preparing to have an amazing. Are we preparing?
Why is the S in sport?
We're just preparing. Say it again.
Why is the S in sport capitalized?
It's like with God, you capitalize God when you're talking about the main God. It's the main sport.
Okay. All right.
Oh shit! Well, here we go. Zach Ritter, not nice. Justin got fired for using weird upward inflection on words in the middle of sentences. So maybe that's what that is. Sports. Maybe that's the way Justin said it. Dave Castro will step into leader. Sports.
Are you sure, Ritter?
Oh Lord.
Be nice, Sebi. As we prepare to have an amazing 2023 games. Hey, what do you think about? Okay, let's talk about this. Why now? Why not just let Justin get the ball? Why not September 1?
Oh no, this is the perfect time if you want him in there right after
Really?
semifinals. Like if it's in the process, but it's not happening yet during semifinals, I feel like you have to wait until it's done. And like it just finished, so now we have a month, and then it's the games. Correct? A month and a half. So like this is, if you're gonna do it, I would rather do it sooner than later. And if it wasn't like done deal, open quarterfinal, semifinal time, like I think it's the perfect time, because then it's like the 2023 games. This is Castro and Boz, and I mean, roll it back to 2017. I thought 2016 to 2018 were the best games years, in my opinion, and I feel like we're just trying to recreate that.
Actually, timing.
When Austin wrote this, did he know that 10,000 people would be staring at his letter? Was he like, okay,
I
10,000?
think Austin wrote that.
That's Austin.
Hey,
It looks like it was written by a CrossFitter. It's short, couple lines in there.
His name's Chris, isn't it?
Wrote it.
Isn't Chris write it?
Andrew Hiller, no, all kidding aside, you have one of the fastest growing YouTube stations, if not the fastest and most influential in the space. And you were also offered a CEO position of one of the fastest growing people ever in the history of Instagram's company recently. What do you think about taking Justin Berg out just prior to the games, 2 months before are we 2 months away?
Month and a half.
Month and a half before the games. What about this? Let me propose something crazy. They're doing it to set Dave up for failure.
They had to do something, and I don't see that being one of the things. They
had to do something? Is that what you said?
They had to do something, because where I sit, they were, and maybe still might be, completely shot. And somewhere in here, someone said CrossFit was a newborn star that's in its dying phase at this point. And this is probably one of the few things they could do to fix that. I was actually, when you go, hey, we're going live, I was putting a video together, and my first video was on this topic. I go, how can you remove this guy? How can you get rid of Greg and then Dave? There's no one left, and it's going to be dead forever. And it was just fizzling out, and this could help a lot. It's one of the only things they could do.
Dave Castro will I like that. Dave Castro will step in to lead our sport team as we prepare to have an amazing 2023 games. We are fortunate, and this part, I don't understand this part. We're fortunate to have a talented team, and they're working hard to deliver a world-class event. I don't know why that sentence annoys me.
And something that I thought Dave was always really, really, really good at is laying out a workout, the workout like layout. It was always very, like, it would end on a lunge, and it was all like a lot of races were happening. You could see the progress of who was in the lead. He was always really, really good at that type of stuff. And I don't think we get 10 runners out there in the semifinal if he's in this position. I feel like Boz might create that workout and be like, okay, we have to find a way to make it work. 10 runners is not going to work. That's not going to be okayed off.
Oh, that's why when they did the marathon row at the games, they had that big old TV screen showing you where everybody
Yeah.
They could have done something like that at the semifinal too. That would have been cool.
Like, I feel like he would find a way to make it more likable than just 10 runners. We have no idea who's in the lead. And then we get all the controversy, all that stuff. Like, I don't think that happens with Dave. It's like small things you wouldn't think about until they happen. I think he's got a good sense of how to lay out a workout.
Hiller got offered to be CEO of Shake Weights, and no, close though. You're keep sniffing. Along with what John is saying about Dave, if the games don't, the hiccups that the games will inevitably have this year, I cannot believe we will ever hear Dave say, "Sorry guys, but I only had 6 weeks."
No, he's not really big on excuses.
Yeah, we're not going to hear that from him. Wad Zombie, Don saw the semis fail. Can't have it at the games. Did the semis fail? I thought they did great. I thought they sold out everywhere. No?
Week one felt pretty rough. I mean, they didn't fail. It was just execution errors. And I think that's what we can learn about timing on this, because you already have all the sponsors taken care of. You already have the event space taken care of. You already have a lot of the logistics taken care of, except for the events themselves. And so what Dave's great at is game planning those events and making sure that they execute properly. Why wouldn't you remove Justin at this time if that's the only thing that needs to be solved?
Do we know if anyone else got let go?
I would imagine we'll hear soon.
Because I'm sure Justin had some assistants. There was a girl over there. There was David Woods, and there was like a Heather
Lawrence.
No. I wonder what other shakeups we're gonna hear about. Anthony TPA. So was Dave secretly interviewing Hiller at the ranch a few weeks ago for a head judge position at the CrossFit Games? Wow. Oh shit. Hiller. In all honesty, when you met him, now that you reflect on it, any weird questions he asked you? Any cozying up he did you?
Everything he did was a test.
Oh.
At least that's how I took it. I don't know. Maybe I was looking a little bit too deep.
Give us an example. Give us an example.
He's over to the corner. I walk over. I'm just kind of hanging out around him. He goes, "Hey, I got a drop-in coming in about 20 minutes. You want to do this workout with him?" You can either say yes or no. I feel if you say no, you lose the test.
Wow.
I said,
that
yeah,
is Dave.
What are you doing? Oh, we're going to run up that hill. I'm like, God damn it. We've ran up this hill like 10 times this weekend. Sure. All right, let's go. I didn't say God damn it. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're in. I said yes.
Wow.
How did you not know this was coming, Hiller? I feel like you would have pulled this out of him.
I can't say some crap, dude. And it's not one of those. I had someone reach out to me and they go that they've known or they've had their feelers on something. It was no one on this show. And it's nothing I can say, but I'm like, this has been around what? Not long.
How long do you think?
How
long do you think they've known? How long do you think Justin's known?
I feel like if I let that information out, how long it might lead to some stuff that might not want to be heard by some people, which is alluding to John's thing. How did you get it out of him? I'm like, well, you just got to keep some things hush hush for possibly Dave's sake.
Okay, so you're saying that you may have gleaned some things now that makes sense that you didn't glean at the time.
Potentially. Yeah, that makes sense. Being purposely vague. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been playing back some conversations with people I've been having and I'm like, fuck, I wonder if that's what that was.
Yeah. Like
I had no idea.
He had to sign an NDA as soon as he got to the ranch.
To be completely honest, I thought it would be, does anyone else agree with John that it's smart that they did it now instead of after the games?
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's a great marketing strategy because now there's this whole new buzz to it. There's a shitload of conversation coming about what it's going to be like, whether you hate it, whether you love it. The buzz is going to be real and it's going to be leading up. And there'll be more stuff like this talking about it now, right?
I hate that you're probably right about that, Souza. Like, it is a great marketing buzz. I hate that might be a motivation, but that's true.
Yeah. If you go back to the things that we talked about with the board, if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, how do I get my money back? We've tried a couple things. All this has been a failure. The one thing that we did have was the games, which was like this big spotlight on CrossFit. Now it's fucking up left and right. And the people within our community are pointing at every single flaw. So now if you're trying to be a newcomer coming into that, it's not going to look very good. So if I'm the board, I'm saying, okay, get this guy out, bring Dave in, the king returns. Everybody talks a shitload about it. We're doing a show now. Marketing goes through the roof. And the board is also saying this is our best chance of getting the return on our investment, right? So it's obviously showing that that's where everything's pointing to now, at least in my opinion.
The games are going to be dope. Dave at the helm. Bosman gets input from TDC on programming. I can't wait. Stephen Flores. There was another test he gave you too that you mentioned to me. Do you want to mention that one, Hillard?
Was it the one involving running up the hill at a certain point?
Yeah.
Nobody makes it up the hill twice without stopping. You're going to have to move.
Oh, no, not even that one. I mean, the one where everyone got to wear a fucking 20-pound vest. And then all of a sudden,
we're doing
tell that story. That story's crazy.
That was the Monday where I was over there with the street parking crew. We were doing Murph. And Dave goes, I got a bunch of these vests in the back in a giant storage container. He walks out with a bunch of them. He's throwing them on the ground. He goes, these ones are 10. These ones are 20. And that one, I don't know how much it weighs. And he looks at me and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that one. And then we weighed it afterwards and it was a 50-pound like backpack ruck thing. And that was something else. But that was another one where he looks up. I'm like, yeah, yep, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's total Dave. So he
Yeah,
brought
he
a
knew how
50
much that
pound.
weighed.
He brought a 50-pound ruck out there.
This isn't 20 pounds. That's as much as I knew.
So he brought a 50-pound ruck out there to see if you'd do it.
Correct. But I'm not sure he knew how much it weighed either because he was counting it up with me afterwards.
A Madison person, dude, no joke. Alphas do tests like that all the time. Tommy Hackenbrook used to do that to me all the time just to see what you're made of. There was another thing. What was this? There was one more.
Interestingly enough, you asked me those questions, and I go, I don't want to tell anybody because I so I'm like, I'm going to tell you for the fun of the show, so everybody knows. But I also like, wanted to hold it in. I don't want him to know that I was telling people I was onto him.
Oh, right. Okay,
I don't want him to have that on me. But if he listens to this part of the show, cut that out. He's got to watch it live. We know he's not doing that.
Dave's all knowing. He was already 2 steps ahead. He planted the seed, tested you, knowing you were going to talk about the test and want to see how long it would take for you to spill the beans.
I called Sevan right when I'm like, dude, that thing was heavy. He made me do it.
There was another thing that I thought was very telling. I can't remember. I think Hiller shared this with me, where a bunch of them were going to do the Murph, and a couple of and it was street parking. And so someone said, "Hey," set us watch, and then someone else said, "No, we don't need to time it. You just have to do it." And Hiller looks over at Dave, and Dave goes, "No, I'm setting a watch."
Looks down and presses the button. 3, 2, 1, go.
And these are small things that point to significant attributes of why.
That was my number one thing of what makes you a CrossFitter. And that played a large role in it. Seeing Dave press that button on his watch before he started that workout.
Yeah. He had me do it before you worked out with the drop-in. He looked at me and he goes, "Hey, can you keep time?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay." And started it.
Yep,
Justin wouldn't keep
very
time.
important.
Justin, it's a nothing burger.
This is it, Aaron. See, I just failed. And I knew I was failing as I was doing it.
Sorry, I'll take responsibility for that.
Yeah,
I'll
this
take
is
complete.
this is our fault. This isn't his fault.
I will take complete.
Notice how I didn't
responsibility.
make a video on it.
Hey, so the real question is, do you guys think there's going to be any massive change like between now and the start of the games that we're going to recognize as Dave being in charge? Or do you think it'll be business as usual until we actually get to the event?
I don't think we'll see the change.
What change could we see? Like, what could we, you know what I mean? What could we see that we would know this is Dave's influence?
Bring back fluorescent Reebok colors to the CrossFit game and get rid of the mobile.
I was thinking
No
more
joke,
so like-
Lex and I were watching the 15 games, and she goes, "I really liked when they were all fluorescently
Same.
colored."
I mean, tiers
Same.
coming.
I was-
2024's tier CrossFit games is coming.
Are we going to have Dave in front of a camera right now? Like, is he going to be more forward facing in front of the audience leading up to the games? Are we going to hear a statement from Dave?
Well, that's going to be interesting. I vote that they do put him up front. That they use him like a whore. The problem is that's going to be the problem. That's going to be interesting. The media team there hates Dave.
Yeah, well,
with the fucking passion. They hate him.
I was going to ask you about that.
They hate him.
Yeah, what
They
happened
hated
there?
Justin.
Oh, me
That's
too.
They
not-
hate
those are
everyone, and
two
everyone
very
hates
different
them.
people.
That's the problem. That's what's fucking going on. So that is going to be a huge thing. How much control does Dave have? Before, when I ran media, Dave would be like, "There were only two affiliate commercials at semifinals this week. Are you doing your fucking job?" And even though he wasn't my boss, I'd fucking run back to the fucking office and fucking call the team together. And next week we need 4 affiliate commercials. Yeah.
Well, so that's what I'm wondering.
Fucking freaking out.
Like, is his involvement going to become more through this time? Are we going to see hypes about the events? Is he going to be the one to hype the events and create that kind of like, tension and excitement that always came with Dave when he would come into the room and talk about, what to expect or as they release stuff or the way they release the type of events, just like run and you don't know.
Maybe he
It'd
does
be
like
interesting to see
event
that,
announcements.
But whether
Okay.
they push Bosman forward or they push, they're going to make a violent decision on that, whether they push Dave forward or Bosman forward.
I
It'll
think
be
you
a
can
hard
push
line.
both, though.
I mean, yes, but speaking on certain topics,
Releasing
whether it's
news
games
and
or
stuff like
partnerships
that.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he was their boss, not many people love their bosses. I hear you, but a lot of people when I was head of media hated me who worked for me, but they never sabotaged me. I still got tremendous work out of them, and they did fucking amazing work, and they always made me proud. These people these people who are in the media department now have such massive egos. They are not being driven by what's best for the affiliates, what's best for the team, what's best. They're not doing that.
What are they driven by?
They're driven by their fucking own egos, their own presumptions of what they think is best for them to keep their job, for them to not empower people, even if they think that those people are better for the community and for growing the affiliates and for growing the sport. They don't care about any of that. They're just worried about themselves.
I saw a post put out by somebody on that media team, one of the people I'm sure you're speaking of, and maybe we talked about it, and it said, I'm so proud of what this team did over the course of the semifinals. And all I could think is, what did you do other than ruin it? Like,
yeah.
It's from the media perspective in particular. Like you removed events. You didn't.
I saw that post.
It just got worse.
I saw that post, and
so
I know
proud of what.
And there was only one person there that I would consider a media person in that post. Only one. The rest of them I would just consider.
And there was what, 12, 15 people there?
Interns at best.
I hope they watch this.
Look at here we go. Aaron Solar. Brian Friend hates Sevan, but we still get the best out of Brian. There you go. Perfect. Shots by Shroka. I disagree with Sevan here. Most of the media team are contractors and follow orders. I don't think that's not disagreeing with me at all.
He is a camera.
Yeah, but that's not disagreeing.
He made
with
the cold barrel commercial. This is the guy who made it.
So good. Logan Ewing, Dave Castro equals CrossFit Dana White, no matter who owns it. Fuck, dude, it's so true.
Yeah,
no matter who owns it, if he's at the front, it will be much better. Dude, it's so true. Because even the people who hate him love to hate him.
Yep.
It's the same as Dana White. I hate the weigh-ins when Dana's not there. And that's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know I'm gay.
I thought it's because you liked fake boobs. That was good.
And I like fake boobs. Those are two of the foundational elements of me being gay.
Boobs gets this charm.
Thank you. That's good. Renee Novantana. It's been a while, ma'am. Would Hiller take a position of CFHQ? Oh, no, CFQH. That's the queer version. But anyway, either way. Dave asks, even though Hiller said it's too late and he would not work for HQ. No, I don't think Hiller goes either.
God, it was your money number that was just like unfathomable, and I know they'd never give it to me, and then I'd have to know where they were anticipating going with it.
Yeah, 500 a year, 3-year contract, all in fuck them.
With no freaking abstract or concrete numbers on what that means.
It's 30 million.
I'll take 50K. I'll do whatever y'all want me to, headquarters. 50K is all I need.
50K?
I'll work really hard.
And that's locked you down for a year. I got a lot of shit that you can do over here.
And I'll tell you how to do it for free. Episode 374. Tony Boster. Tony, I'd like to see you comment more. I don't see you in the comments very often. I hope you're not just listening to this show because it's about Dave. Dickhead. Nice beard. Okay, Tony, here you go. Why can't CrossFit stay consistent? Greg found a methodology that improved health nutrition that is healthy. Why is CrossFit always switching clothing sponsors and bringing in Monster, etc.?
The methodology constantly varied.
Got to make a buck, dude. Got to make a buck.
Because the two things you said are completely opposing.
Look at this. That's awesome.
That's what I was saying.
I just want to train full time and not worry about it, guys. I'm not greedy. And
GP, the answer is no to this one.
150K a year.
Hell no.
All right.
But you can reach John Young's, I guess.
I appreciate you guys coming on last minute. And any closing words, Tyler, you'd like to mention? And any speculation, anything that you're like, God, I probably shouldn't say this, but
no, I'm just excited.
Thumbs up.
I haven't been this excited in 2 years.
Good. Okay, I like it.
You're getting married tomorrow, dude.
Not tomorrow. I never said tomorrow.
Just on a fucking Tuesday.
It's a good Tuesday.
Mr. Hiller, final thoughts, speculations, things you're afraid to say that you just want to share, if I get off your chest about Dave being back.
Yeah, I got something to say. I wasn't trying to attack John Young.
I didn't feel attacked, y'all.
I didn't think so, but I'm just clarifying.
On a 1 to 10, how much more excited are you now that Dave's at the helm?
8.
Wow. Good. Okay. I like it.
And this morning, if you would have asked about the future of CrossFit, it would have been like I got 2, like a
Whoa.
1.8 or a 2. So that's quite the swing.
Oh shit. Corey Leonard, breaking news. Justin Burke takes CEO position at NASA. Oh no,
All right.
NSCA.
I say 8. I meant 9.
John Young, tell me, buddy. Any thoughts? Anything you don't want to say? Any speculation? Any fears? Any excitement? Any
I know
about
I
Mr.
equal,
Dave being back at the helm?
I equal Tyler's sentiment. I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm interested in what Souza said. I'm interested to see if what other changes are coming. If other changes, it's hard for me to think this is the only thing that's going to happen. So I'm excited to see what other things are going to happen too. But just excited.
And Mr. Souza, affiliate owner, executive producer of the funnest podcast in the world. Tell me thoughts on Mr. Dave being back.
I'm just stoked about it. I'm actually invigorated about the games now, far more than I was before with Dave at the helm. And then the last piece I would like to say is if some of our ideas come to fruition, and you want to sponsor it, you better fucking do it now, because we're going to completely change the game if we get some access and some things that we were talking about actually come to life. And I really think that they're close to are. So if you want to get involved, you better fucking do it now, because we're going to blow it up. Everything else will be irrelevant. Morning Chalk Up, Talking Elite Fitness. Who? What? I don't even know what's going on. So hit me up if you want to get involved.
What about Hiller? What about Hiller Fit?
Oh, he's part of the family, baby. He's part of the
he's grandfathered in.
Him and I were walking step last year. I hope we're buddies again this year, the whole time, holding hands.
I'm pumped. Love Dave. I think it's going to be fantastic. Whoever said the Dana White comment, I mean, that is 100% my sentiment. I have a very dynamic relationship with the man, and I enjoy every second of it, of him being at the front. We will keep you updated. Thanks everyone for joining in last minute. The most offensive thing I saw in the comments was someone said 727 listeners. Is that the most you've ever had? And it's not even close. You